All right, today we're taking long things and making them not so long. All right, like I said, we're taking long things and shortening them. These are the transmission cooler fittings that are going to be going in the transmission that I just got rebuilt. Now, since the case was bad, the case that I had doesn't exist anymore. It's garbage, it's recycled, it's no longer in use. So the transmission cooler bosses, they're not tapped as deep. And, it is what it is. It's, crappy production tolerances from the factory. So anyways, I have to shorten these fittings. Now, I've done some math. These are a quarter NPS, National Pipe Straight, not an NPT. Don't want to be cramming NPT or tapered threads into an aluminum case because you run the risk of splitting the case. And frankly, I don't want to break the case of the transmission that just got rebuilt. So the threads, the straight thread portion of this is about a 1/2 inch long to the copper washer. And I've been comparing some measurements to tapered threads, and they require 290 thousandths of perfect thread to be sealed. I'm going to apply a very similar logic to these straight threads. I'm going to take them from 1/2 inch long. I'm going to take them down to around 300 thousandths long and make sure they fit in the transmission. Now I'm going to do this in steps rather than take all of it at once and have problems. I'm going to take a little bit of time and test fit it into the transmission each time. So I'm going to be using the 1940s era Logan lathe. We're going to be throwing some chips and shortening up this end here. Now I realize that this could also be done with a hacksaw, a sawzall, or whatever you have, but being a machinist by trade, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist on these things. And when you have a lathe to do this kind of thing, you might as well just use it and do it and have, perfect threads, put the right chamfer on the OD, put the right chamfer on the ID. So yeah, let's have some fun, throw some chips. Okay, let me explain this setup just a little bit. Now, since the surface of the nut part of the hex of the fitting isn't that big, I have to find a way to make sure that I can keep it straight and true. That way the fitting isn't, wobbling around out around. So what I've done is I found a drill bit that's just a hair smaller than the ID, or the inside diameter of that fitting. I've set the fitting on the drill bit and using the drill bit basically as a straight edge to make sure everything stays straight in the chuck. I've tightened the chuck down and the drill bit, well, just slides right out. I did not have it tightened down in the chuck that far. There we go. There is a little burr on that fitting. So now I'm just going to fire it up and we're going to turn face off. This face, going to take about 150 or so thousandths off. That should give me about a 350 thousandths length from the copper washer, which is set aside, to the end of the threads. Then I'll try it in the transmission and we'll, if it works like I need it to, we'll do the other side. Okay, so I've turned down both fittings now. The magic number came to be 170 thousandths off, so that gives us a dimension of 330 from essentially the face of the copper washer to the end of the fitting. Now I've already got one threaded in. Gonna put this guy in, and we will be good to go. So yeah, there's today's machining project. Thanks for watching. And hopefully next time we'll be getting more of this transmission put in the car.